day?
Yeah. So, g'day.
Great. Happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday. And in our last video, which was our first video, we were talking, having a conversation, and then my video went flat and cut out. So perhaps we'll just pick off where we left off there. And we'd spoken about Tantra and this upcoming event, and we were having a conversation about a relationship, or not even being in a relationship, but having a real connection to yourself and being very aware of that and your own boundaries and what happens when you interact with someone else, what you bring and what they bring, and almost like something else gets created. Do you want to carry on with that before the video cut you off?
No, so some of you may know a lot about Tantra. Some of you may know nothing about Tantra, and for me, it's important just to add Tantra yoga element to it. So we just want to just explain maybe what it means to us, how we interpret the Tantra yoga for us, because it's you may think it's all about sex and orgies together with some crazy Kama Sutra positions, which can be fun and maybe can be part of it, but not necessarily. There's not necessarily means anything really sexual. And so just to really for you just to have an idea maybe what to expect when you come to our workshop, or for you just to have an idea if you want to explore Tantra as your own path and your own journey. And so it's a philosophy of life, and it started the first time it was mentioned, it was like 1700 BC in the Vedic scriptures, and it meant the loom, the weaving device, and then it transformed into what it is in these days, which is really connected with sexuality and sensuality. But what it really means that it is weaving, as we talked at our previous video, from the tantric perspective, we weave in sexuality, sensuality, and our desires into the fabric of our practice, because some of the practices are very celibate practices, and the desire is evil, the sex is evil. So if you want to be truly spiritual, you have to be celibate. And that's not what Tantra believes. Tantra believes that desire and senses are there to be explored. Skin is our biggest organ. We can enjoy it, and it can become the way we experience the deeper connection with ourselves, with others, and experience a spiritual connection at the same time, and expand our life. Yeah, what is Tantra for you? What does it mean for you?
I say, but part of me is thinking, did you answer my question? Okay.
Did I ignore you?
Well, it felt like you kind of ignored my question, actually.
Can you ask it again?
Well, maybe we'll get back to that. But okay, so what Tantra is for me, I guess. I guess part of the journey is realizing and understanding that sexuality is actually part of spirituality, and that is something that can be embraced as part of the whole. And often I think that religions have made out that sex might be a bad thing, or that kind of union is kind of a little bit bad, and so it sort of has been just not really, I guess, not sure what the words are there, but just not really accepted and as part of life as it kind of could be. And so I guess what it means for me is that kind of understanding about myself as a whole, but I guess it's about a deeper connection with another person, and not a superficial connection, but truly really hearing another person. Although you didn't hear my question, but really understanding them, and also really sort of feeling what's going on for them too, and but it is that it just feels like a much deeper connection. And I guess there is another aspect of Tantra being, say, bringing meditation into the bedroom. You're not just trying to get your leg over kind of thing. So there's much more of an interplay going on, but as you say, it doesn't need to be sexual at all, and it is about knowing your own boundaries and what feels right for you and what doesn't feel right for you, and that can be sexual, not sexual at all. So yeah.
Is that sense of the word Tantra yoga, that sense of union and communion, and I think the question was beginning with ourselves, establishing that relationship with ourselves, exploring what it means to be truly, authentically open with ourselves. In that sense, knowing what we open for, what we're ready for, what we enjoy, when it's time when appropriate to say no, what we're not open to, and feeling really, really at peace with who we are, and from there testing it and moving it to, wow, if I know who I am, if I'm truly connected with myself, what would it feel like to then to bring it together with another and test it with another.
And I guess being at peace with yourself is actually a journey, because that's the art of acceptance, isn't it? Being aware of what's really going on in yourself and your body, and just not going into judgment and judging that, oh, I shouldn't be feeling like this. It's just that awareness and accepting. So and then you're more, when you have that kind of feeling with yourself of acceptance, and then you're far more open to finding that and being with that in another person too, accepting them. So, and as they say about love as well, loving yourself, then you can love another as well.
And I think it becomes when there's two people really open and connected. And I think for me, Tantra is more like a dance. There is this, in many of the practices of Tantra, actually, there's a lot of movement and a lot of release and flow. And I think Tantra is, I think for us, it's like that we dance. Sometimes we closer, sometimes we need more space, sometimes we hear each other, sometimes I didn't hear his question and it needs to be repeated, but sometimes we say yes to each other, sometimes we need to say no to each other, and on a kind of a daily basis, checking in what we are open and available for. And sometimes, just because I said yes yesterday doesn't mean I can say yes today. Today is a different day, and it's just, for me, it's more about tuning in with our senses, with ourselves, and then from that point just seeing where I can go with that. Can I invite someone to dance today, or today I'm more of a dancing on my own, which is also, dancing solo is absolutely fine and can be also very sensual and freeing and spiritual experience, because you don't really have to have a partner to experience that beautiful energy that we all deeply hold inside of us. It's a question of opening ourselves to it. And I think that many other, let's say, maybe religions or philosophies, they shy away from sex and desire because it's a really strong energy. So people either are burned by it, or because it's so strong, they just like, no, I'm not gonna even go there because it's too scary.
Yeah. That's interesting, isn't it, when you start to think about as the energy, it is energy, and how powerful that energy can be. And
Yes.
yeah, it really, it's easy to understand how it can be perceived in particular ways, but it is all part of it. Wow.
Yeah.
And I get that that powerful thing about having that relationship with yourself, and sometimes you need your own space as well. Like last night when I was meditating, someone just walked in. I kind of needed my own space, but yeah. So yeah. Do we want to, like, if anyone is thinking they might be mad enough to come along to our tantric evenings that we're starting, do we just want to paint a little bit of a picture what it might be like if you come along, what they can expect?
Yeah.
Because I see, for myself, I see that there is an opening circle, getting people into their heart space. There are different exercises that we go through, and in particular we talk about boundaries and realizing feeling your own boundaries, and there is that element of you don't do anything you're not comfortable with, and being in your body and feeling what's going on, and no one touches you unless you invite that touch, and through different exercises and learning in the Jiv. And I guess as well as that anybody that feels uncomfortable, even if they don't know why, or they just acknowledge that feeling, they're free to put their hand up, and one of us will come over, and you don't even have to understand why you might be feeling that way, but just to get assistance is good.
Yeah, it's an invitation. It's going to be very, very safe space that we're going to hold. And as there are beginners evenings, we start off with very, very gentle exercises like eye gazing, breathing together in unison, maybe moving with someone, not necessarily touching, but just moving and dancing together. It's all about creating and exploring a safe environment, so you can really notice. It's kind of through taking it super slow, slowing it down enough so you can notice how you feel, what was coming up, when your discomfort is coming up. Is it time for you to just to explore that? Oh, maybe it's time just to say, no, I need to back off. Or maybe it's time, actually, I really want to go closer with this person. Meaning just maybe they will be able to touch my hand. So it's just more of a very safe invitation through very gentle exercises of movement, connecting, pausing together in the presence of somebody else, and exploring what it means to you and what you can do with this energy and what arises for you. So then when you go to the, let's say, the real world of connecting, you will know yourself a little bit better. You will be able to respond from your heart and from your conscious awareness, rather than just reacting because something is happening.
Yeah, sounds good. As I've always said, don't knock it unless you've tried it. So maybe I'll come along and try. Yeah.
And if you've got any questions, post something in the comments box, so we can then take it to a private chat and answer any of your questions. I'm crying already. It's too sunny here. I'm being moved. Yeah, we see you soon then.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Have a great day. Bye.